So part 2 of the developer update is out, and my god, is there a lot of things to talk about it. Let's jump on into it. Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Part 2 of the massive developer update is here. Tomorrow we are going to be getting the PTP for this, not today, so stay tuned for that. This is going to be pretty exciting stuff that we're going to be talking about, so if you do enjoy it, make sure you do subscribe, leave a like down below, and don't forget, today is our return to Twitch. We're going to be there. We haven't streamed in a very long time, but I would love to see all of you guys there. The link will be in the description if you do want to watch. We'll start at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have some fun. We'll be live tomorrow as well. The updated schedule will be in the description. Let's not waste time. Let's jump on into this developer update and talk about everything that's going to be changed. So here we go. The developer update part 2 is here. To start off with, Leatherface masks, the ones that you specifically got in for mooring original survivors or sacrificing them 25 times, has now been removed. It's about time, and I'm pretty damn happy about this. As I mentioned in this post, there was a lot of hateful behavior going on with these masks, so they decided to remove them completely, which is a great thing. And to compensate for the players, they are giving them 6,000 iridescent shards for their removal. This is pretty awesome. As I said, we will not tolerate hateful activity and will continue to take every step necessary to protect the community. So that is a great way to start off this post. Let's carry on and talk about some other information. We have grade rewards revisited. This is great. We know that on every February 13th, we had some rewards that you get for the rank reset. Some people were saying that it wasn't enough. I kind of agreed. Blood points were just kind of meh. So let's see what they're going to do. They said, we've been tracking grade resets in the months since to see not only how far everyone manages to get in the month, but also how many matches it took to get there. The current reward for your efforts doesn't seem very fitting. So we'll be increasing the grade rewards starting with the January 13th season, with the new rewards first going out on February 13th. We're in the process of finalizing the exact rewards, but we'll keep you posted on what's decided. Rest assured, there will indeed be higher than before. This is awesome. You'll actually be finally properly compensated for the time that you're putting in, and your grade is actually going to have a little bit more value now. Your dedication to the game, essentially, instead of just getting 250,000 blood points. Hopefully, they give something like Auric Cells or Iridescent Shards. I think that'll be a fantastic way. Every time that you do really good in the season, you can get yourself a new skin with 500 Auric Cells or something along the lines of that, or even a new character. Many games do this already. I think it's a really easy decision for them to make, and it will adequately reward dedicated players for their time in the game. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what's going to happen with all of this. Next on the list are add-on changes. Now, there is a lot of add-on changes here. We're going to go through them. We're going to see who's getting nerfs, who's getting buffs, and just talk about it. So, the Blight is the first one on the list with the Adrenaline Vial. This is going to reduce the rush turn rate penalty to 55%. The Cannibal is also getting a few of them, with Carburetor Tuning Guide being the first, reducing the movement speed penalty to 2%. This was 4. The Deep Gauge Rake, which is going to reduce the movement speed penalty to 2%, which is 4. Iridescent Flesh lowered the maximum tantrum duration to 5. This was 8. And Long Guide Bar increased time before tantrum by 2 seconds. This was 1. So some buffs to the Cannibals add-ons. This is pretty nice. I'm a fan of them. I always said that there was only like 2 Cannibal add-ons that I really enjoyed using. Everything else was just kind of meh. The same can be said about Hillbilly in my opinion. So this is nice to see. Next on the list is the Clown changes. So his add-ons, we have the Solvent Jug, which increases the duration of the invigoration by 2 seconds. This was 1, so we're getting some buffs to the Clown. The Robin Feather, this is going to decrease the cooldown by 40%. This used to be 30. The Flask of Bleach increases hindered effect by 4%. This was 5. And the Red Head's Pinky Finger now reduces bottle count by 2. So a little bit of balance changes for the Clowns. We're seeing some of the add-ons being buffed up and the Pinky Finger being nerfed a little bit. So some nice balance going on for the Clown, where some of his mid add-ons are going to become a little bit more better, while his ultra rare, which was crazy good, where now his really good add-ons are becoming a little bit more standardized. Next on the list is the Pig. These are just 2 of them. I hope that we get some more. Pig is long overdue some really good changes. First of all, we have Amanda's Letter. This reduces the available reverse bear traps by 2. This used to be 3. And the Last Will increases time to charge ambush attacks by 33%. This was 66. So those are some pretty nice things to the pig. Next on the list are changes to the twins. So Iridescent Pendant increased exposed duration to 45. This used to be 30, so that's pretty nice. The Baby Teeth increased blindness duration to 30 seconds. This used to be 50, so that's also a nice little buff. We have the Scarf, which increases Victor's movement speed by 3. This used to be 4, so a little bit of a more balanced. The Toy Sword, which was really good. This will now decrease pounce charge time by 0.2 seconds. This used to be 0.25. And the Stale Biscuit decreases pounce cooldown by 0.4. This used to be 0.5. Honestly, these aren't too bad. I think this is going to be a little bit more balancing for the twins, and we'll see how it goes in the game. To be honest, I didn't really think that the twins needed anything to really go over their add-on kit. I didn't really expect them to change the twins, but we'll see how they play out in game and how they actually work out. For now, they seem alright on paper. The Nemesis is up next on the list. Iridescent Umbrella Badge increased the duration of the exposed status effect to 60. This was 30, so their iridescent is getting buffed. We have the Stars Badge, which increases zombie movement speed by 150% for 60 seconds. This used to be only 100%, so a little bit of a buff to that one. Marvin's Blood increases mutation rate by 25%. This was 33, and it was pretty damn strong, I'm not gonna lie. It was a really good add-on, so they're balancing it essentially. We got the Eye, which increases the zombie movement speed by 35%, and this used to be 50. So they're balancing it out, making the iridescence a little bit stronger, and the mid-tier add-ons just more mid, essentially. And it's not too bad overall, in my opinion. Next, we have some changes to the Huntress. The Wooden Fox increased the undetectable status duration to 30 seconds. This was 15. And finally, we have the Oni. The Iridescent Family Crest increases the range to 24, and this was 12. So a few add-on passes for the Huntress and the Oni, just making those add-ons a little bit more nice. Next on the list, we have some perk updates. Now, this is going to be pretty good. I've been waiting for a lot of perk updates for a very long time. There's so many perks in the game that are just super lackluster and really don't do anything. So let's read the new and improved perks. First of all, we have Boilover. Woohoo! The effects of wiggling have been increased to 50, 75, and 100%, and the aura blocking range for nearby hooks has also been increased to a nice around 16 meters. Additionally, Boilover now has a new effect. If the killer drops you from a height while carrying you, you'll instantly get a 25% wiggle progress bonus. So that's pretty alright. You know, I still don't think people are going to use Boilover that much, but it's better than where it was, so pretty happy with that. Next on the list is Distortion. They said, with all the things that can read your auras these days, those tokens can disappear sooner than you'd like. So we're upping the number of tokens that you start with to 4. So that's a nice little buff to Distortion. Now you can actually get some good utilization out of the perk. Remember Me is next on the list. It says, Remember Me can have a lot of potential, but the basic attack condition could make an unpopular choice on some killers. So it's gone. Remember Me will now get a token whenever the obsession loses a health state. So that's pretty good. You can now use your secondary ability in order to gain some tokens. So if you're playing Leatherface, if you're, tossing a hatchet with Huntress, if you're throwing knives with the Trickster, you will now get a token as long as your obsession takes some damage. Wake Up is next on the list. Oh man, Wake Up. On that note, it seems fitting to revisit Wake Up. We've increased the gate opening speed bonuses to 15, 20, and 25. This should make the perk more impactful when it comes into play and offer some counterplay in the event that Remember Me catches on. So that's pretty nice. Remember Me is getting a little bit of a buff. 25% increase is pretty good, to be honest. I still don't think that's going to be a perk that a lot of people are going to use, but hey, you never know. Gearhead is next, and Gearhead was just a terrible perk. They said, simply put, the conditions of Gearhead are too strict for the payoff, so we're giving it a small rework. Anytime a survivor loses a health state, Gearhead activates. The next time a survivor hits a great skill check while repairing, their aura is revealed for 6, 8, and 10 seconds. Gearhead then deactivates. These charges will make the perk more appealing to the killer that rely more heavily on special attacks and make it active far more often, while also providing more detailed information. So Gearhead can actually have some pretty good value here, especially if you're playing a high mobility killer. You can track down where the survivors are at when they're on generators, and you could potentially sneak up on them and get some good hits in. Power Struggle is next on the list. This one released with pretty safe values, so it wouldn't be getting out of hand, but we're now comfortable with reducing the activation conditions. Power Struggle will now activate once 25, 20, and 15% wiggle progress has been reached. This should make it a little bit easier to pull off with some planning. So Power Struggle is getting a bit of a buff. That's going to be pretty interesting to see. I honestly suspect a lot of people are going to be using Power Struggle, with only 15% required. You can easily run this with something like Flip Flop, and I know it's crazy. Who would ever run Flip Flop? And you can get some good plays going on. You don't necessarily have to run it with Flip Flop, because 15% is not that much on the bar. If someone takes a hit and then the killer happens to walk through a pallet, you can get a potentially good play. Buckle Up is next on the list. The aura reading duration has been increased to 6, 8, and 10 seconds, so a slight little change. Coup de grace is next on the list. They said this one is a bit of a roller coaster. It was originally toned down because it was too strong, but then made it a little too weak. We're bumping up the lunge to 70, 75, and 80, also shortening the gap between different tiers of the perks. Furtive Chase. And then they said Furtive Chase has found its way into some niche builds and can be a lot of fun to experiment with. However, losing all of your tokens when the obsession is killed leaves you without a perk for the rest of the match. So we're getting rid of that restriction. You'll no longer lose your tokens if the obsession dies. Dead Man Switch is the final perk on the list, and it says the obsession condition of this perk makes it very inconsistent to use and also severely limits the number of times it can activate in a match, so it's gone. Now, Dead Man Switch will activate whenever a survivor is hooked, and that's a pretty good one. I think Dead Man Switch will actually have some good potential if used correctly. They then said, and on that note, you're all geared up for tomorrow's PTB and mid-chapter. Be sure to let us know how we did. We'll be keeping an eye out for your thoughts. So, not too bad overall. You know, not as beefy as I thought it was. We had a lot of information in the first patch, really working through the fundamentals of what's going on in the update, more so with MMR, etc. And now we're seeing a little bit more of the balance changes. You know, it's all right. You know, it's nothing really beefy. We're not getting any map reworks essentially like we used to get in the past. In the previous patch, we also seen multiple killers getting reworked and getting like some changes to their base itself. We're mainly just seeing some add-on changes. We obviously have the grade rewards being revisited, so that's pretty cool, but still not a lot of information on that. Perks are always good to change, so I'm happy we are getting some perk changes. All in all, I think it's pretty all right. You know, we're just getting what seems like a good health update for the game. We're not necessarily getting anything that's major or big changes. I honestly was expecting some changes to boon totems. Didn't really see anything to that. I was expecting some changes to the newest killer in the game. We didn't really see anything like that as well. Instead, we got a lot of add-on changes, some perk changes, and that's about it, realistically, for the part 2, essentially. But nonetheless, we are going to try all of this out tomorrow. I think the killers with some of the biggest changes were Nemesis, Twins, Clown, and Cannibal. They seem to be getting the major reworks, essentially, at least with their add-ons. And then, of course, we have all of these perks that are going to be reworked. So we're going to try out some of those tomorrow. It looks like more survivor perks were changed and killer perks as well. And we did receive some perk changes as well. So we'll be trying all of that out tomorrow. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, make sure you leave a like down below. Thank you guys for watching this summary of the developer update. We will be trying all of this stuff out tomorrow live on stream, as well as making a video for you guys. And we'll be talking about more of these changes on stream today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you guys there. I just want to say thank you again for all of the support on the previous videos. It's been mind-blowing. So thank you guys so much. It's very motivating and exciting to see you guys coming through and helping out so much with watching the videos and showing your love and support. But my friends, that is going to do it for me. As always, I'm the king. I tip my crown to you guys. And we'll see you in the vlog.